About the royal family, shall we, with our regular royal expert, former Sun royal editor and royal author, Charlie Rae. Hello, Charlie.
Good morning, Kevin.
Anything going on?
Well, it's a bit hard this week to try and work out exactly what is happening in the world of the royals. I mean, we could talk about Harry and Meghan, of course.
Yeah, have they been up? Have they been up to anything? I don't know. No, I mean, let's get serious. I mean, I know that you're angry about it. I'm angry about it. I think a lot of people around this country, we keep saying this time Harry's gone too far. But when he launched this assault on his home country, the country he deserted, telling us that even though we think we're not very racist, we're structurally racist, and that he knows this because he's walked around London and talked to people. No, you haven't, you liar. That is outrageous. So the latest video that they have assailed us with, accusing this country of being riven with structural racism, for my mind, that was it. That was the end of the line with those two.
We have, as you say, we have reached the end of the line. And to be perfectly honest, I think we've said this before, but I now think they should be cut off completely. You know, the title's stripped. He loses his right to succession and everything else. And look, when they were doing all this stuff, I did a bit of research, and there was an excellent piece yesterday in the Times comment by Trevor Phillips, who was the former head of the Commission for Racial Equality. Yep. Now, he wrote a really great piece where he said their union, the symbolism of their mixed race union, could have sent a potent message to the world that in this country at least, and it hasn't. And when Meghan goes on and says, "I didn't know there was a Black History Month in Great Britain," well, Meghan, you've been exposed as a liar or someone who was using that to further your own ends. Because Trevor actually reminds us all that Black History Month started in the UK in 1987, 20 odd years ago. And if you needed any more evidence about how Meghan used it for her own ends, there was a school, Woodlands Community, who last year, they're from Birkenhead, who, as part of our work on Black History Month, we wrote to HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, and posted a selection of the work. She, in fact, wrote back. Not only did she write back to the kids to say well done, she actually enclosed personalised letters to each one of those children to say fantastic. So she knows full well that we have a Black History Month in the UK, and it is wrong for her to use it for her own ends.
It really is. And as I said earlier, Harry, in the midst of this latest outrageous video, said he said London is celebrated as one of the most diverse cities in the world. He said, but if you get out and talk to people, you realise it's not as diverse as you thought. And he said, so get out, walk the streets, talk to people. When did he do that? I mean, now all sympathy to him. He can't do that. He's the prince. He's in line of the throne. He's a member of the royal family. But don't tell us that you did that, because you didn't. What on earth does he think he's doing? Telling lies?
Well, there is diversity in London, and as Trevor Phillips says in his excellent comment piece, 2 out of every 5 Londoners are non-whites in London at the moment. And I object to Harry accusing Britain of being a racist country. We are not a racist country. Yes, we have people who are unfortunately involved in racism, but we can only root them out and hopefully take them to court and everything else. But if they want to start beating the drum about racism, stick to California, sweetheart, and stick to what's happening in the States, because that really is a racist country.
Yes, and he starts prattling on in this video about, I hadn't realised, I didn't think I was racist, but I hadn't realised I am really, and this is because he's fallen victim to this claptrap called critical race theory, and that is where if you or I, Charlie, say, well, I don't really care what colour of the skin anyone has got, don't care, not interested, doesn't matter to me, that's actually racist.
Well,
And that we're all victims or we're susceptible to white privilege. So Harry is spewing the spiel of critical race theory. Critical race theory is entirely discredited. It's a load of rubbish. And here he is going, I hadn't realised I was a racist. I thought I wasn't, but I am. I mean, what does he think he's doing?
Well, did he realise he was being racist when a few years ago at Sandhurst he used a racial slur against one of his own a fellow
the P word, wasn't it? The P word, yeah.
It was the P word. Yes, absolutely, it was the P word. And did he realise what he was doing when he dressed up as a Nazi to go in a Nazi uniform to go to a party? And now these are things you learn early on that are not exactly the right thing to do. And for Harry to suddenly say, I've just woken up to all this. It's I didn't realise it was this bad. Well, you're living in America now, and you don't know what's going on here. And Trevor Phillips as well bemoans the fact that he was with Harry and William when they went out to see the homeless people with Diana when they were much younger. So, Harry was being tutored by his mother. There were people in this country who were less fortunate than the rest of us. So he knows full well what the country's like, and it's not a racist country.
And if he ever did go out onto the streets of London or anywhere else in Britain, as you quite rightly say, Charlie, he would discover the truth. And that is that Great Britain is one of the least racist countries on the face of the earth. The mission of the critical race theory mob is to find racism where it isn't, to create the problem. And it doesn't help when this red-haired idiot from California says, it was so great that Diversity did that Black Lives Matter dance on Britain's Got Talent. No, it wasn't. This is all in pursuit to create a problem that we don't really have, and it doesn't help when a member of the royal family gets involved in propagating what I think is an outrageous lie, that Britain is riven with structural racism. It isn't.
And I have to say, Kevin, I think that what they have done this week is probably the worst example of the whinge and ginge scenario that we've had from them practically every week. I thought the videos were going to stop once they'd signed up with Netflix, but unfortunately they haven't. We're still getting them. So I wish, go away, leave us alone. We're fine without you.
Yeah, of course, there's this new book out by Robert Lacey today, which lays bare the cold fury of Her Majesty the Queen and the rest of the royal family, the real truth about their split from the royal family, that the feud with William is much worse than we thought. Robert Lacey, very respected biographer. Yes. This isn't to be dismissed as tittle-tattle. And we realise that this is possibly the worst crisis the royal family has experienced. For a long time.
His book is in opposition to their Finding Freedom, and Robert Lacey's book has already been dubbed Finding Fury, because the royals are not happy what has been. And the picture that we were being told earlier on about, we're all sorting it all out and everything else. No, they haven't. There is a lot of bad blood now going on between the royal family and Harry and Meghan.
Just before you go, Charlie, still with Meghan. How much more money is she going to waste on this lawsuit against the Mail on Sunday? She got slapped down again this week. It's costing her a fortune. They say if she wins this lawsuit, saying that the Mail on Sunday breached her privacy, she'll get a 5-figure settlement. They think it may cost her about nearly £2 million to pursue this case. What's happened this week?
It's going to be a lot more than that, Kevin, because it's already costing her 1.8 million so far, and it's cost the Mail 1.3 million. So we're into almost over £3 million already. So every time, and you quite rightly said this week she's lost another few £1,000 because the court has ruled that she can be quizzed on oath about her cooperation in Finding Freedom. And as I say, this is going to be a great court case. I'm looking forward to it. I think she's stupid for continuing with it, because it's the only people who are going to benefit from it are people like you and me, because we'll be enjoying every minute of it. But the lawyers will be getting rich and rich and richer.
Yeah, it's a window into her psyche. It's very strange. The Daily Mail is serializing Robert Lacey's book brilliantly. It trailed it by saying, "You've read their story, which was, of course, Finding Freedom. You've read their story. Now read the real story."
Yes.
I suspect Robert Lacey's version is going to be much closer to the truth
I
than
agree.
Finding Freedom ever was. Charlie, thanks again for a brilliant royal update. That's Charlie Rae, former Sun royal editor and author. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan, and this is Talk Radio.